firearm selection in Anderson County, a wide inventory of musical instruments.
You've been listening to Trading Time on AM 1380 WYSH. Tune in Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. for Trading Time, and Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for Trading Time Prime Time, right here on AM 1380 WYSH.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Locker Room Chat. This evening, I'm David Queener. I'm it. I'll explain Ron Berry in a minute, but my sidekick was supposed to be E.T. Stamey. As you can see, it's an empty chair. So I guess Berry forgot to leave him $1.50 so he could stop there and get a cup of coffee, as he brags about all the time. So no E.T. tonight, just me. We'll tear it up for the next hour here on the Locker Room Chat. If you got a call, you want to call us tonight, and got a question you want to ask about the recruiting today, feel free to call 483-8112. But it is a big day today. Early signing for the first time today, and I heard some figures earlier. They thought about 50 to 60% of the young men today that would commit would sign early. So you still got about 40-some% that'll be left, or Super 16 or not.
Well, I didn't see the Arby's.
I don't know if they had the Arby's. Yeah. I think Oak Ridge played in Nashville or Memphis or somewhere.
But I just know just didn't seem like the normal amount of. But Harriman had a very successful played at two gyms and had some big crowds, big games. So high school basketball, it's here, and all you got to do now is try to get people out in this cold weather.
And it's been that.
I sure don't want to go to a high school basketball game and get my old car that's all frigid, and cranky, and
come out and it won't start.
But it won't. But it'll be over with here before we get started, because it's next week is umpires meeting for baseball and softball already. You're 3 weeks away from that starting. College baseball will be starting. UT's first game will probably be middle of February out west.
Out west somewhere, won't it? Arizona or down in Florida. I don't know if even being in Florida right now is a good thing, just because of the weather. Come on.
We're heading that way next month and check on the weather, and it's 62 down there, but 62 versus 8. I'll still take my chances.
Well, I'm with you.
So, but just a lot of Major League Baseball. It'll be getting cranked up.
Pitchers and catchers here about 4 weeks. About 4 weeks, something like that.
So, time just flies by. But we hope you had a great New Year and a great Christmas. Hope you had an opportunity to slow things down a little bit and enjoy your families and man, time just flies. When you're as old as I am, buddy, flying. It just flies by. Just flies by.
As I talked to you before we come on tonight, you're in a jam, ain't you?
In a jam?
With this football thing?
No, I'm not in a jam.
Most of the viewers know now.
most of the viewers know what you've tried to
what I've
tell
told
them.
them.
Yeah,
Well,
what you
there's
told
been,
them,
well, there's
exactly
been
right.
callers. No, callers have called in,
Well, we'll see.
and
We'll see.
and they knew that they seen you on TV. So how do you? I mean, how?
Saw me on TV.
Yeah, saw you on TV when
Where?
the Mays boys signed at Catholic. They saw you on TV. So, I mean, you don't have to deny it.
I would have gone.
You know him, don't
I
you know his daddy?
I would have gone.
You know
had-
his daddy
if
and
I
you
had,
his grandfather,
if
right?
I had been invited, I'd have been right there.
Answer my question.
Yeah, yeah.
You know you his
yeah.
grandfather, Mr.
Yeah,
Frog. You
yeah.
know all of them.
If I'd
I mean, you
if
know
I
him,
would have
right?
been invited, I
You
would
know
have
him,
been right,
right?
there.
You
yeah.
know him, right? So
yeah.
you was invited because they saw you on
No,
TV.
I wasn't. I
A
wasn't
caller
invited.
called and said, "I seen Ron Berry standing
No.
there when they panned the crowd in the back. I saw it."
I would have
So
been
we
happy to
know-
have been there.
So we know though that you're a Georgia fan.
No, that doesn't mean anything at all.
But we know that you ride somebody else's coattail down there
No.
and go to Alabama.
No,
So
I
you're in the
appreciate.
pickle, buddy. You
I-
gonna make this guy mad, or you gonna make this family mad?
No,
Who you making mad?
well, first place, I'm not going to make anybody mad because, you know, I would have loved.
Are you
I'd love to go to any young man's signing
Are
ceremony.
you gonna wear something that's split down the middle,
No,
one side
no,
Georgia, one
no.
side Alabama?
No, no.
Are you just gonna wear all
all I
Georgia?
have is orange.
I boy, that's a bunch of baloney.
And like I said, anytime, you know, I mean, I'll show you my ticket stubs and you show me your
See,
ticket stubs.
you tried to.
No, I'm just
you
saying.
tried to a couple weeks before signing period. You tried to convince the viewers that Mr. Mays probably go to Clemson,
Go to Clemson.
and you tried to throw this tale out that he would go to Clemson because he didn't want to play Tennessee every year at Georgia. And I kept saying, well, I sort of think he's going to go to Georgia because the line coach. And you said, nah, going to Clemson.
Pittman was a big reason.
Going
Pittman
to
was the
going
reason
to
Georgia
going
was,
to Clemson,
was in.
buddy. Going to Clemson.
But
Wow,
I think,
wonder how he'd have felt if he'd have went to Clemson. Leonard's losers, Clemson Tigers.
well, but they were playing for the
Leonard's
opportunity
losers?
to get to a national championship.
Leonard's losers, Clemson Tigers.
Well, he could have. Well, if he could have been in a lot worse of Leonard's losers.
Leonard's losers,
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
But
Let me ask you a question about Baker Mayfield. You think he's a pro quarterback?
he would have to be. He would have to be in a perfect offense to do that. I don't
you-
think that he's. You know, first of all, he's not going to be able to use his feet like he can in college. I mean, you just don't last long.
Well, you know who they're comparing him to? They're comparing him to the Seahawk quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Well,
Is that
I don't-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's a Russell Wilson.
Well, they're comparing him to.
Right.
I'm wondering if he's too cocky.
Well, there would be an attitude adjustment. I guarantee those some linebackers.
But don't you want to play with? Don't you want to play with somebody that's pretty confident though?
Well, confident, but not cocky. Peyton Manning was a good example of that. He was very confident, but he wasn't cocky.
That's not a very good example to use.
I
Use
think
somebody
it's-
else.
I think it's a perfect
Just
example.
use somebody like
I
T.
think it's-
Martin that won a
I think
national
it's a perfect
championship.
example.
No, I don't.
But
Anyway,
yeah, I don't know. I think Mayfield would be extremely fortunate if he found. First of all, he's got to tell Cleveland Browns, "I'm not playing for you."
Well, I don't think he'd be the top. He's not going to be the top pick. The top pick is either the kid from UCLA or the kid from USC. They say, but the
Well,
USC
the kid from USC.
They're saying he needs to stay in school.
I mean, I didn't see anything
I didn't
from
either.
him the other night that,
No,
that
nothing.
would dictate to me. But the Cleveland Browns have 2 of the first 4 picks.
What's a bad order? That's just a bad
they
organization.
They need a quarterback, don't they?
Yeah, they need. Well, they need a lot.
Well, but I'm just saying you got to start with a quarterback, and they don't have a quarterback.
I honestly believe this. I believe if you give the Browns the first, I don't know how many first picks there are. 30? Is it 30 or 32? If you give the Brown the first 32 picks, I think they'd mess it up.
Well, I would because what I'd start doing is what Vince Lombardi always did. I'd start trading. That's what they've been doing. They've been trading for draft choices. That's why they get 2 of the top 4.
I just mean
But-
if you gave him the first 32
But
picks.
I agree. Yeah, probably.
Cleveland, you're on the clock for 32 picks.
I mean, how can you
Give me
keep
32 picks.
How can you keep the same coach 1 and 31? Now, I think I think most anyone. I mean, you could just blitz every play and get enough turnovers to probably win one game out of 31, couldn't you?
Probably.
But yeah, I think it's a horrible organization. Right from the top. I mean, I think that it's pretty obvious. The Browns and it looks like they're going to turn the Giants into about the same thing. But you know, there's so much money in professional football that you don't have to win to go to the bank. You know, I mean, the fans are still coming out. The TV revenues are up.
They're having a parade at Cleveland for going 0-16.
Yeah. So I just, but to answer your question, I think Mayfield would have to have he would have to have an awfully lot of good things go in his favor for him to be successful. One of the things that caught my eye all bowl game, the whole game, the gamut of bowls. You want to judge talent. There were some outstanding football players at every level, and you know, people wanted to talk about how talented Tennessee was, and you really didn't have a lot of time this year because of injuries to see a lot of the talent, because for a lot of the season the talent was on the sideline
On crutches
or something else, or having surgery or something. But there's just a difference of level of competition, and as we got closer to the 14 playoff, it became more and more evident. And I thought in the two games that were on Monday night, they were by far
another level
superior
of
the talent. That you
Hey, and what about Central Florida? Central Florida goes undefeated, 13-0, which they beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl, and they're declaring themselves the national champ. Because here's their reasoning. Here's their reasoning. Both of the teams in the national championship game were beat by Auburn. Auburn beat both of them. Okay? So Central Florida says, we beat Auburn. We're 13-0. We're the national champs.
I guess you could, you know, they'll sell you rings on that deduction.
Well, maybe they will.
If you got the money,
I'm sure
you can order
well,
rings.
you can get a ring for anything. Yeah, but I'm just saying, they're saying, hey, we're the national champs.
That's not a very.
That's what they're saying.
Economists would laugh at that theory.
Well, they might, but
they'd laugh at that theory.
They were 13-0.
They were 13-0, but I don't think their schedule was quite up to par.
And see, it might, and I agree with you on that. It probably wasn't up to par. That's why I think this playoff thing needs to be expanded to 8 instead of 4.
I would like to see 8 teams, and the reason I would like to see 8 is it gives you an opportunity to go down one more level and include some teams that are always going to be on the bubble. And as much money as there is, I mean, there were 28 million people watched the Georgia game.
And another thing, I think really Georgia has got an advantage Monday night of being as close to home as that game is to them. I mean, it's just in their back door.
Well, it is, but
I think it's an advantage.
Well, I don't know how much of an advantage. It's not far from Tuscaloosa either.
And it's 3 hours.
Well, then you're an hour and a half, so you gain an hour and a half.
It's 3 hours.
You gain
and
an
then
hour and
Saban is complaining because it's too quick of a turnaround, because they didn't get home till, I don't guess they got home till Monday sometime because they had the late game.
Right.
And Georgia was over with, flew back home, and must have got home at a fairly decent time for the
Rose
Bowl.
Georgia had twice the distance to travel too.
Well, it's just Saban playing in mind games for people.
It is.
So,
it is.
But I just
if he keeps talking like that, it won't ever get to 8 games or 8 teams.
Well, it needs to be 8.
Yeah, I think so.
And we got too many bowls. We need to. Some of these bowls have got to go. I mean, Well, let's see. What was I watching the other night? I don't remember. It might have been Central Florida and Auburn. There was plenty of seats.
Oh, but that wasn't the worst one. Go to the first week when they were playing, and you know there are high school games that had more in attendance.
We probably seen more in Anderson County this year in Oak Ridge than we did at some of those bowl games.
But you know, it's the TV revenue. But what I think you'll probably start seeing is you'll start seeing, although they didn't have the problem this year coming up with enough 6-6 teams. But what's going to happen, and it's probably already started, and that's the reason is, you know, it's just like most of the teams in the SEC, the non-conference. You're going to have 4 non-conference teams, games. Three of those are going to be lopsided wins, and you may have one decent non-conference game, and then you're going to have 2 or 3 non-conference games with teams that typically aren't very good. So getting to 6 wins isn't very difficult.
Was for us this year.
Was for us, but I'm saying, if you don't get to 6 wins, you really got a problem.
Let's play the what if game for just a minute. What if Butch Jones had a 1-6 this year? Would he still been the coach?
I think so. I think he'd have probably gotten another year, just because of the buyout. I think he probably would have gotten another year.
Most of his
new athletic director. He didn't want to have to fire somebody.
Yeah, most of his assistants have received or taken other jobs. It looks like now.
Yeah.
I think about most of them.
I don't think Hoke has gotten anything yet, and he may have had a shot had he not. I think when he made the decision to kick Jennings off, that sort of, and I don't know the circumstances. He probably needed it, but as an interim coach, you're probably sealing your own fate when you do that, aren't you?
Yeah, but Jennings did some things
did.
that probably I don't know that warranted being kicked off.
But as an interim,
yeah,
of course, but the problem there was you didn't have an athletic director in place, so the interim coach was the only thing left. But it's there's just so much money. There's just so much money in college athletics, and at some point, they finally gotten around to paying them $3,000 or $4,000 for the big time stuff. But I think it's awfully fortunate that they haven't had some big scandals going on. I mean, think of the money.
Well, we do have some scandals going on the basketball side.
But what I'm saying is in points shavings and things. I mean, think of the money that's
Lord.
out there
Bunch.
for some of these games.
We might not just caught them yet.
Well, and that's a good point.
Hang on.
That's a good
Hang
point.
on.
They may not be interested.
You know what? Who would have thought that what was going on in basketball was actually going on? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have always said somebody's getting some money here. I mean, that's always been thought. And still, it's thought in football. The boosters are giving some money somewhere.
Well, it's been proven even over here.
We're a handshake, and the handshake, you get something, you put in your pocket.
I think Robinson over here proved it when he was a quarterback over here.
Yeah.
That But my point is there's so much money involved in that stuff that if you don't start taking care of the participants, and I understand their education, so let's assume that at the University of Tennessee, their education is worth $16,000 a year. Most of them are probably eligible for Pell Grants as well, so they're kicking some more in, which probably provides a car payment for them. But what is that? In comparison to
drop in the red kettle.
That's
all it is.
To the revenue that's derived
Yep.
out of that. And I'm not advocating that they should be paid a whopping salary, but I am saying that it's probably gonna come a time when you start dropping $15 million off at each university just for TV.
Well, next thing I think they got to get under control. They got to they're going to eventually have to put a cap on these coaches' salaries.
Well, I agree, and I think the athletic directors are going to have to be the ones to come up and you know, I think it's time to do like every other American does, and that's, you know, you base your salary on your job performance. So you back end that contract so that at the end of 3 years you've won X number of games, it's worth $1 million. At the end of 5 years, if you've won a sizable number of games, yeah, we give you $5 million.
So the 4 coaches that were in the Final Four here this year, they would have been eligible for a little bit more money.
For some bonuses.
For some bonuses.
And it would have depended on how many, you know, you had 2 brand new coaches. So
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Georgia, you know, would have gotten a sizable bonus for getting their teams to the playoff. So you get a bonus for winning your conference. You get a bonus for getting to that playoff game. You get a bonus for being in the national championship game.
Well, let me ask you this, though. If you do that, and you cut the salaries way down, then don't that cut the coaches way down too? Because if I'm a coach and I'm coaching with Nick Saban and I'm making extra money because we're winning all these games, I'm not leaving. I'm not coming to the University of Tennessee when I make more money as assistant coach as a head coach.
Well, and that may be true.
So then you're coaching, then college football in a whole takes a hit probably.
Well, I don't know that it takes a hit. What happens?
Well, it would if you got bad coaches.
Well, but what happens is you structure it so, and to some degree you'd like to see some stability. You know, it's just like, and the other thing that you can do there is, and I think at some point, you know, they're going to have to reevaluate that. Why should coaches be allowed to leave and not be penalized, and players can't?
You know, people think like Major League Baseball. People think assistant coaches in Major League Baseball make a lot of money. They really don't. They don't make a lot.
They make a pretty good living.
Well, some of them don't. They don't make very much money.
Assistant coaches?
Yeah, some assistant coaches don't make over $100,000 a year. Some of them don't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The minimum salary is $300,000 for a player.
Yeah,
You're not
for
going
a
to
coach,
but you're not going to have a player make more than a coach.
Yes, happens.
I'm talking about on the bottom side now. It happens all the time.
Coach's contract, even being a head coach, is not that much money. It's not a lot of money, not compared to what we're talking to in college. When you look at college football or something, even in the pros, it's not that much. An assistant coach is not that much.
I thought that's what we were talking about in the pros.
We're talking about pro. I'm talking about pro baseball players.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, pro baseball player, the assistant coaches and that. The head coach makes a pretty good salary. It's not like he's not. I'd say the guy that.
I bet there's not any $100,000 guys. I'm going to bet you.
I thought they, and I don't remember where I either read this or heard this. The first base, and I'm trying to think who it was. Can't remember which coach it was. He made $90,000. That's what his salary was.
Wow.
But you look, I bet you the
clubhouse boy will make that much.
Well, maybe he does. You look at, and maybe somebody will call in and tell us that I'm wrong, and I could be, but for some reason I've got that in my mind. You look at what the guy for Chicago or the guy that just signed a contract at New York, compare their salaries to what Nick Saban's make, ain't a drop in the bucket probably. You probably couldn't combine their 2 salaries, them 2 head coaches, and make what Saban's making. Or Dabo Swinney, or Urban Myers, or Harbaugh at Michigan. I think Harbaugh's the highest paid coach, ain't he?
No, Saban's the highest paid.
You sure?
Saban's contract calls for him to be $1 higher than the
Well, now you got Fisher now at Texas A&M. It's hooked into a $75 million contract.
But that's just $7.5 million a year.
Oh, okay. Just.
Well, I'm just saying Saban. And you know, if we want to talk about salaries, how about Mike Krzyzewski at Duke? Over $9 million a year. So he slides under the radar. A lot of folks don't think about.
Yeah, being private.
They don't think about him, you know, setting the table for salaries.
It's just got out of whack all the way around, man. I mean, it's just out of whack.
And the thing that really throws it out of whack is that It's not even performance based.
No, they just throw these figures out.
And that's why if you take and Pruitt's a prime example, Oklahoma, Kirby Smart, any of these coaches that have been around, that's why they're all interested in that one head coaching job. You get that one head coaching job with a 5-year salary, 5-year contract. What do you got to worry about the rest of your life?
Butch Jones probably don't.
What do you think Butch Jones and his wife talked about the morning after at breakfast after he was fired?
Probably if they were going to move or not, maybe.
Barb, you probably need to go buy your car today because they're going to come after our 3 vehicles. And if you don't care, stop by Cherokee Country Club and see what the dues are because they're going to cut our membership off. And if you don't care, stop by Joseph Banks and pick up my suits because if I don't get them pretty soon, they may want me to pay for them. Versus the average American said, honey, you need to cut back. You know, we got to cut back cable. We got to cut back all this stuff right here. May have to give up your car. We got to get rid of a car. You know, the kids are going to have to.
There ain't many people drawing $100,000 a month right now.
Well, my point is that not only do these guys make in the millions, they don't spend any.
I assume.
What would they spend money for?
Well, probably a house payment. You think?
Butch Jones, go by and visit Tennessee Bank. That's my bank.
You think that's how you got?
If he's making one, it's token. He's not paying the same interest rate we would pay.
Well, you think he's paying electric bill, cable bill, stuff like that?
I think that's what he's paying.
Basic stuff.
Basic stuff. No cars. I know a dealership that was giving them a car, and they told them they didn't need it anymore. They had so many cars.
Why would a dealer do that? Just to get the perks on the back end?
Well, do you want to see how many people you saw Butch Jones driving around in that Mercedes convertible with Knoxville Mercedes on the back of it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You get a lot of perks, and then you get one heck of a salary.
And guess where their seats are? You think their seats are up in the nosebleeds?
No, they're in that high dollar section.
Do you think
if not
do you think when the football team takes off on a charter flight, reckon who gets invited to fly down with them to the game?
Them big time boosters.
So my point is it's not just salary. It's not just salary. They don't have to spend any money.
You know, that's what the last Friday night scoreboard show that was done this year, I filled in. I hadn't been on it all year long. And Cox was talking about the guy that was, I don't remember his name, the guy that was the Ball for Life coordinator or whatever.
Anton Davis.
Apparently he had eaten lunch with a bunch of them, and I assume he was there the way he was talking. And so when it came down to the trip to Atlanta, he was taking off the flight for a booster and told you got to drive if you want to go. And they said the booster, who was the first quarterback? Dormady at the first of the season. It was his girlfriend's dad. He's a big booster, which was going to be his, I reckon, future father-in-law there. He got his seat. That's what they said.
I mean, I'm saying.
And then Butch Jones denied that.
Well,
they denied that.
That's
said,
that's just
well,
normal.
He told us he didn't want to go because of his kids' activities.
That's just normal operating procedure.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
The boosters are going to get those.
Listen,
seats.
if I'm giving somebody a car and all the perks, I'd expect a little bit back. I'd expect some preferential treatment.
My point is that not only is it the money, but they don't have to spend any money. Try to go out and eat in Knoxville. If you're Jeremy Pruitt and you come to town and you try to go out and eat,
somebody's picking it up, or the restaurant is
closed.
I would say that Butch Jones probably just. I'd be willing to bet he probably didn't spend $1,500 a month.
All I'm saying is just stop and think about it. You know, hang your jacket up on the rack so that the label is showing, huh? You know, former, you know, big man shop. You know,
He's a big man.
so it's that's always been my point is that not only is the money good, it's what they get to retain that the average fan is having to pay out.
I can ask this question now, or I can ask that after we take a break. Where are you going to
Take it after a break.
Okay, I'll ask you after the
We'll
break.
be right back.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
In today's world, you don't stay in business long without providing exceptional customer service. The Duff family has been providing exceptional customer service for over 44 years. Our customers rate us highly, as shown by the fact we're the only dealer in Tennessee to have earned the Subaru Stellar Care Award for customer satisfaction 6 years in a row. Check our online reviews or ask your friends. They'll tell you to come to Earl Duff Subaru, where buying is a pleasure.
During the Subaru Share the Love event, choose the 2018 Outback with 0% APR for up to 63 months. And Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of 5 charities.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Welcome back to the locker room. Glad to have you back, and again, hope everybody had a great holiday season and get started off to a great 2018. And the weather's going to warm up and everything's going to be fine.
When's that going to happen?
Next week.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What's happened to the John Kerry situation? It sort of went. They just paying him and.
Oh, I think the lawyers are going to end up making that decision. You know how much. UT will be trying to say they had cause, and he's going to say they didn't have cause, and somewhere in the middle. But somewhere in the middle is $2 million. So who's the loser?
Tennessee. Or the people.
You know, and there are a lot of fans. You know, even though Jeremy Pruitt probably is as good a hire as you could have gotten at the beginning of that fiasco as it was in the end. You know, we've just had a lot of Alabama people in that athletic department over there, and it looks like now with you know, and they're saying I guess Fulmer's got a 3-year deal.
Thought it was 2. 2 or 3, don't matter.
But there's I read an editorial the other day about people being how much money, $15 million spent out on football coaches, you know, and then you want to raise tuition. You know, you want to pin it on the parents of people trying to send their kids to school, and you're squandering $15 million in the athletic department.
Yeah, but I see what I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it really has anything to do with it. There's not many.
It doesn't. It
does.
doesn't. And the 15 million is 15 million is peanuts as to what it's raised. Because the thing that a lot of people don't understand is it's not just about Tennessee University. Look what a ball game impacts, how it impacts Knoxville.
Oh, it's big time if it impacts it big
$7
time.
million.
Yeah.
Just for a ball game.
You might not be able to hear if you don't put that earpiece in. If it works. It's worked on everything else tonight. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Quinn, this is Triple D. You and Ron Berry. I see you got your main man back with you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that designation.
Hey, Happy New Year to both y'all. I happened to get off to the wrong my year didn't get off like I wanted to. You got me on the Clemson and Alabama.
I tried to tell you.
Well, you were going with your heart.
I get revenge on you on Georgia.
You're going with your heart instead of your head.
Wait a minute. I've not picked Alabama. I didn't pick Alabama to win that game yet.
Yeah, you picked them to win against Clemson.
Yes.
You the Nick Saban man.
No.
I know you did. I was Clemson's cause of my boy T. Higgins, and he happened to have he got hurt early in the first half, and they kind of set him back a little bit because they just utilized one guy cause that Fitzpatrick. He had Renfro covered most of the game.
Triple D, that
took away one side of the field.
That was a huge play.
He'll be back, and Clemson be back.
That was a huge play.
Don't let too many people get comfortable on that Sweeney won't rebuild. He ain't gonna have to rebuild. He gonna reload because I know he having a pretty good recruiting year, and so he'll get get a running back in there. Because their defense going to be superb like they was this year.
The play that
I told
Triple D,
friend of mine
Triple D,
the other day that Clemson didn't need Alabama didn't need no help in that game Monday.
Hey, Triple D.
They had a superb defense like Clemson. So who made the fewest mistakes usually probably was going to win.
Hey.
Sure enough, Alabama
didn't hear us, I don't think.
Hey, Triple D.
But I look for Georgia the revenge to do a pretty good number on Saban this year.
Hey, Triple D.
I think Kirby Smart got that quarterback.
I don't think he
may not be Jalen Hurts in terms of running the ball, but he can throw. He's a lot better thrower, and they got a pretty good two receivers on Georgia's offense, and you know they got two of the best running backs you've seen in the last 4 or 5 years.
Hey, Triple D.
No.
So I take them boys any day, and they defense pretty stout too. So I think Kirby Smart will do a number on Saban.
Triple D, the play that Higgins got hurt on was a big part of that ball game, don't you think? When Higgins got hurt, if that ball is thrown just a little higher where he can go get the ball, that's a touchdown.
Well, you take a guy, you take a guy 6'5", that was an all-state basketball player. He was just as good. You heard me say he was one of the best athletes come out of Oak Ridge in about 30 years. Check the record. This guy 6'5", he can go up there and get it. Against a 5'10" cornerback, that's no-win situation for him. He gonna get it every time. He got good hand. Where the ball was thrown, if you seen how he hurt, he reached back for it. He had led him right. That'd have been a touchdown. And they was just losing by 4 points, 10-6. He led him right. They been a little accurate on the throw. Neither one of them quarterbacks could throw.
Awful good to see T, though, on TV, isn't it? Awful good to see him on TV.
I was too. Like I say, that guy got stardom written all on him. He got the 3D, which it take. He got a heck of an attitude, which it take equal success.
And you know
he got to work at it. He'll be back.
And
that
you know he
took
got
away one side of that field.
Because
they were going to utilize you. You heard Triple D use that word, utilize and maximize.
That's right, and he got all of his.
Would utilize. He's been using them all year.
Listen.
And after he got taken out the equation, that helped Alabama.
Listen, he got all of his coaching from Coach Gaddis.
To that degree. He's a superb athlete. I've been saying that all the time.
But he got all of his coaching from Coach Gaddis.
I'm one of his biggest fans, besides his mama and his grandmama. This kid has got it. And I hate to see him, that's how football is. You one player away from the end in your career.
But they didn't get Rodgers involved in the offense either, though.
And he'll be back. He's had some lower leg situation. But I just hate to see that play. And I said, they go Clemson chances. That's part of the chances. But what y'all think about Fulmer in his decision? I say he got the right man. Get this guy 2 years, he'd be just like Kirby Smart.
No, I think you're wrong.
He got that wagon headed the right direction.
I think you're wrong.
He got the wheels put on now. He ready to roll.
I think Kirby Smart was left with a wagon full of players. Pruitt doesn't have the wagon full of players that Kirby Smart was left with.
Yeah, he was. Mark Rett, just like I stole Queener last week. He didn't leave that program in shambles. He didn't leave them in disarray. But like I said, like Triple D already said, the words. The coach, the team is only good. The horse is only good as the jockey that rides him. You get a jockey know what he's doing, he gonna guide that horse to success.
Well, we don't have enough jockeys.
Kirby Smart know what he's doing. Franklin know what he was doing.
How did we get Franklin involved in this conversation?
You take these guys, been in these programs after about 2 years, and they got these programs. It ain't no secret. It ain't no accident that Kirby Smart got his team trying for the championship. It's no secret.
Now wait just a minute. Time out, Triple D. Triple D. Time out. Now, Triple D, you're telling me that Kirby Smart had this all planned together when he brought in a kid that should have been in high school in Notre Dame and won a ball game at Notre Dame with a freshman quarterback. Now that's not. Hey, that's luck.
No, that ain't luck. That ain't luck. That ain't luck. Cause see, the thing is, he brought one in like that. That ain't luck. That ain't luck. When you know what you're doing, you ain't lucky.
When you know what you're doing, how do you know what you were doing?
At any skill, craft, or trade, that ain't luck. Cause he in the national championship game. He didn't go 3-7 or go 4-8 like Butch Jones. That's luck. When you luck up and you don't know what you're doing, that's luck. But when you know what you're doing, it ain't luck. It's based on a craft. This man know what he's doing. He's a coach. Like I say, when a jockey is only good as the horse that he rides. How many times did Secretary win the Kentucky Derby?
Once.
The jockey, you could have put him on there.
He won the Kentucky. He won the Kentucky Derby one time. He won the Kentucky Derby one time.
One time.
hear him in the back. I hear some.
But how many people won it one time?
One time, he did.
Every year somebody
Every year
wins it.
somebody wins it one time.
How many people won it one time? Hey, but he know what he was doing when he won it that one time, Queen. But Barry, you gonna tell me that Kirby Smart don't know what he doing?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Throughout the season, he was lucky.
What I said was.
But you said that's one game. You talking about 10 games ago.
Okay, but if he doesn't win that game, he's not playing in the national
championship game. We talking about the whole entire season. This man know what he doing.
Okay, we'll see.
It ain't when you do know what you're doing.
Hold on a minute. So now you're taking Georgia. You're going to take Georgia in the national championship game, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
You better believe it.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay, you're taking Georgia. Okay. All right, just listen to us before we go.
Why not? Who you taking, Queen, and you in bed?
Well, before we go off air tonight, I'll tell you who I'm taking. After you hang up, you listen. I'll tell you who I'm going to take, okay?
Go ahead.
I'll tell you when we hang up tonight, when we get out of here.
You're a Saban man, so just
hey, if I'm a Saban man, you're a Gaddis man.
Well, no.
Yes,
ain't no Gaddis man.
Yeah, you are too.
Gaddis man, Gaddis don't win like Saban.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
See you.
No, don't put them to. No. Hey, that's like comparing apples and oranges. There.
All right, we'll see you. We'll talk at you later. He can't hear us, but I don't know that I'm going to take Alabama like he thinks I'm going to take Alabama. He must think I'm going to take Alabama. I don't know. Who you taking?
I don't know. Let's take a break. We'll think about it. We'll be right back.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
In today's world, you don't stay in business long without providing exceptional customer service. The Duff family has been providing exceptional customer service for over 44 years. Our customers rate us highly, as shown by the fact we're the only dealer in Tennessee to have earned the Subaru Stellar Care Award for customer satisfaction 6 years in a row. Check our online reviews or ask your friends. They'll tell you to come to Earl Duff Subaru, where buying is a pleasure.
During the Subaru Share the Love event, choose the 2018 Outback with 0% APR for up to 63 months. And Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of 5 charities.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
You know, it's awfully nice to be able to see local kids though on national TV. You know, when you hear their name and see them go up for a play like that, awfully nice.
Yeah, especially a young man especially a young man that we covered and had him in studio too. But it is nice to be able to say you've been around that young man.
I just wish he'd have caught that touchdown pass, because if he had, he was going to rip his jersey off and there was going to be a BBB T-shirt underneath it.
Think so?
Yeah.
Is that what Triple D told you or what?
No. That's
Triple D is pumped up tonight, man.
Check.
You know, he automatically thinks that I'm going to just take Alabama because I picked Alabama over Clemson.
You are going to take Alabama.
What makes you think I'm going to take Alabama?
Because you're going to take Alabama.
I'm going to take Alabama.
Yeah.
You're for sure of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
Got just a few minutes, and I'll tell you though. But
you'll take Alabama.
I think Leonard's losers might be Alabama.
You'll take
Monday
Alabama.
night.
You'll take Alabama. But
who are you going to take? I know who you're taking.
So you think you know who I'm going to take?
You're going to take Georgia because that's where some of your fellow people are at.
SEC championship game probably reduces the number of folks watching, doesn't it? A lot of people hate the SEC, so they're not going to watch an SEC championship game. And a lot of the big markets won't have any interest in
no, I think having two teams like this
in Atlanta.
No, they're not. It's not going to set well with the rest of the country. Maybe that's a good point to have, where you only allow one team from each division.
I don't think you can do that. But,
well, yeah, you can. You can do anything you want.
But I think what happens is you get if you had 28 million people watching the Georgia and Oklahoma game, you probably cut that in half.
Well, there'll be a lot of people watch the Rose Bowl game because that's the game they've always watched, and a lot of people won't watch the Sugar Bowl because that's normally, in the past, been SEC teams playing. So I can see where the difference in the.
Well, but it's a
but
SEC,
the Rose Bowl game's prime time right there.
It's a SEC and Big Ten.
I personally think the Sugar Bowl game the other night was too late. I think it come on too late. It was too late. It ended too late. I think it was on too late.
See, I thought you reverse them. You reverse them because you got 3 hours in California.
Probably.
Of course, what they're looking at is the East Coast audience.
Monday night's game. I think Monday night's game's coming on too late too. I think it's too late for Monday night too. I understand why they're doing it, but I think it's just too late of a start.
Yeah, because you get that 3 hour time change in there, and you know, you probably could come on earlier this year because of the lack of interest on the West Coast.
And speaking of just about what I was saying, just a prime example of it, of games starting too late, it's like boxing on pay-per-view now. HBO has started having the boxing matches earlier leading up to the big one, because the big one was running into 1 or 1:30 in the morning and people were complaining. They're paying for this. Yeah. They're wanting to see all 12 rounds of it. So now they've got it, and they're trying to get done by 12 or no later than 12:30. So they've listened to their people. Everybody else needs to follow suit. But man, when there's so much money involved in it, I mean, I don't know. It's got too big. It's got too big. There's too many bowl games. It's got too big. We need 4 more teams in the playoff. They say that'll never happen. They say they'll never do it. We need 4 more teams. I don't know.
Who out of the playoff teams, what team impressed you the most?
The playoff team?
No, out of the playoff teams. In other words, what other bowl game outside those?
Well, Central Florida did just for a little bit, just because they come back and beat Auburn. And I agree. I mean, what that caller today was saying on the show I was listening to, he was right. I mean, Auburn did beat Georgia and Alabama both. That going undefeated, that's pretty. I understand that's as far as it goes. That was a pretty impressive game. I thought it was a pretty impressive game for Central Florida to finish out undefeated. Played a pretty good foe in Auburn, but they also played a foe that had lost 3 games too. And I'm gonna say myself, I'll just say Central Florida.
I thought the South Carolina comeback was
It's all right, but South Carolina
team played very well. But
it's, I thought the biggest disappointment to me in the bowl game part of it was USC. The USC game was a big disappointment to me. They didn't play. Not that I'm a USC fan. They just didn't play well. So I think that was a big disappointment. I think that game was a big disappointment. I'll tell you, the gutsy game was Kentucky going for 2 to win the game.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked that. I liked that a lot.
I didn't particularly care for the play.
Well, I might not care for the play, but I like going for the. I like going for the 2.
I just think you have to, you got to get him out.
And then the best game of all, I think the best game so far, and if we get lucky Monday night to have another game like that, will be the Georgia-Oklahoma game. It's probably been the best game so far.
By far.
Even better than Clemson, Alabama.
Yeah.
That game was by far. I mean, it was a game that you didn't want to get up. You waited
weren't gonna miss a play.
You waited for a timeout, so you could do whatever you need to do. You waited for that timeout. You didn't get up during the. You wanted because there was so. The second half was so exciting. I mean, it kept you.
But then they sort of changed. When you got down close there, I thought Oklahoma took the foot off the pedal for a little bit. And especially in the overtimes. Of course, in the overtimes, you're worried about. But the first overtime. When all they had, when they just needed a touchdown to win it.
You can bet the Oklahoma head coach never thought they'd block that field goal.
Oh no.
He thought they'd hold Georgia and they'd win that game. They'd win it on the next overtime.
But what I'm saying is when you get the ball second on that first overtime, and you hold them to a field goal. I think then what you have to do is you just go from first down to first. You get that first down first. You don't have to worry about getting it all. You get that first down first, and then you got your chance there. 3 tries to get into the end zone.
I would much rather kick that field goal from a little further back than kick it from up close. It's harder up close, or I think it is. You got to get it up quicker. So that's where you're getting. You give them a chance to block that. But anyway, I think the Oklahoma-Georgia game by far has been the best game.
What did you think about the LSU-Notre Dame game?
LSU-Notre Dame.
There's
neither one worth.
I'm sure Orgeron.
He's on the hot seat right now.
Well, and probably his offensive coordinator couldn't wait to get the game over.
But I'm gonna tell you who's on the hot seat even more than him. That's Gus Malzahn at Auburn.
Yeah,
he's on the hot seat. Big time. Even signing a contract, they're wanting him gone. They're saying he's nothing no more than an 8-4 coach, and I agree with him 100%.
What did he finish this year?
10-4. 10-4.
Of course, that loss to Central Florida was a painful loss.
It's devastating to him.
Painful loss.
So, anyway, we'll be back here next Wednesday night when we talk about
tell me who you like.
I'm going to take Georgia.
Taking Georgia. Based on?
I think they got a better running game. Better quarterback.
Okay.
Better all.
But the thing is,
Saban is.
If you stop their running game, your chances of winning are much greater.
For arguing purposes with Triple D, I'm going to take Alabama.
Oh, you're going to switch now?
Yeah, I'm going to take Alabama.
So which one is?
Because here's why.
What's your final answer?
Alabama. I'm going to take Alabama, and I'm going to tell you, I think if Coach Gaddis was sitting here tonight, I think he'd take Alabama too. I'm going to take Alabama just for that Triple D, and that's for you, Triple D. Alabama.
So,
Roll Tide.
So.
Do you hear me, Triple D?
I mean,
Roll Tide.
Is there you got one? I'm going to give you another chance. Change
Alabama.
your mind again.
No, Alabama. I'm doing it for Triple D. Me and Coach Gaddis is taking Alabama. I ain't even talked to Coach Gaddis.
Well, I was going to take Alabama, but if you're taking Alabama,
I'm Georgia. Wait. Yeah, that's really. I wonder why.
I was fixing to say Alabama.
Wonder why. Mays family.
I was fixing to take. Alabama.
We ain't got just a few seconds here, and I know, but now you should have said I'm going to stay neutral in this game and not even be in it.
Stay neutral? Why would I stay neutral?
Because you got too much at stake.
No, I don't
You've made somebody else mad.
I don't have a
Well,
bit,
that'll be your last ride to an Alabama game. I'll bet you.
Nah, I don't.
I'll bet you.
I don't have a bit of.
Yeah, I'll bet you it's your last ride. Triple D, Alabama, Monday night. Final.
I just think the way Georgia came back, it might be,
Out of gas.
Out of gas.
Out of gas.
Okay, folks, we'll see you right back here next Wednesday night after the national championship game. Have a great week.